This dog. That was the dog. I wasn't ready to start the stream, but he is stomping around and stepped on the foot pedal. I need to figure out something to do about the fact that the dog is able to get under my desk and start the stream early by stepping on that there foot pedal. Because I mean, I guess the show must go on. But I feel like he's like, I'm supposed to be, he's not the producer of this stream. Like he's the executive producer of some of the other stuff that I put out. But this is supposed to be my thing. I guess I got to give the dog a treat. Eric Tastico says, he said, come on now, it's treat time. You're not wrong. I made the critical error of bringing the dog out to the studio with a longer duration before the stream was gonna start than usual. So he's been waiting. So let's make him wait no longer. Treat for the treat dog, blood for the blood dog. What's up, everybody? We're good. We did it. We gave the dog a treat. We're now in it. We can do the stream now. I hope that's good. I hope that was an adequate amount of dog treatery. Let's see where he's going. He's always got to be off on an adventure after he gets his treat. Where are you going? And he's back under the desk. So, just under the desk, being a nuisance. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you under the desk? Oh, wait, but he's like, oh, my ear though. Oh, but my ear though. Okay. We'll let him figure out what he wants to do, and we'll figure that out later. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the foot cam. You got a little bonus there. How's it going, everybody? How are we doing? That carpet looks great. Well, thank you. Thank you. Chat picked it out like a couple years ago, and it's a really nice carpet. I like it a lot. I like it quite a bit. He's just a little guy, Your Honor. He is, and that's the problem. He can get away with fucking murder. This dog could get away with murder, and I would probably praise him for it, honestly. Because, I mean, just look at that face. He's just got such a squishy face. He's got so much floof. He's just going to be under the desk, just being a little gremlin for a little while, I guess. Did you watch the New York City debate, says Esri. No. I saw that there were clips that came out. I didn't know it was happening. Going up. I don't necessarily want to hear Andrew Cuomo say words very much. That's not a good use of my ears, I think. But I did see a few clips, and like I saw was that where that clip that's going around of like, there's the clip going around of Mamdani saying what his breakfast sandwich order is. Is that where that came from? And also the thing where they're like, do you condemn Hassan Piker? That I have seen those clips, but that's pretty much it. Didn't know it was happening. Debates are weird. it's weird. I never know how to view debates in general, because like I don't believe that anyone's been swayed by presidential or really most political debates. Like, I think they're good for visibility, right? Like they're a good way to get clips so that people know who you are, that you're even in the race to begin with. But as far as like swaying somebody politically across the aisle to you, like if they were not your guy beforehand, like a debate's not going to make them your guy unless you're a incredible generational talent. But largely what happens is whoever, like, each party feels that they walked away from the debate having won. But what's crazy to me is that Cuomo is in the race still. What are you doing? Why are you being like this? It's like no one wants him there. He doesn't want the job. He also was like already the governor of New York State and is like, now I'm going to be the mayor of New York City, which like is a huge deal still, but like you already went up that ladder and flamed out. Like you already had your moment of being a politician, which is to say your sex pest scandal got out there, and now we don't want you. Actually, we pretty much never wanted you to begin with, but you know. Sex Pex Cuomo. Oh yeah, absolutely. Hello, Mello. How is it going? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, screw that guy. Yeah, he's kind of the worst. Like he's just the worst. 7,800 for rent is wildly incomparable to any normal person, and Cuomo thinking he's the people's choice is so funny. Oh. Blood for the blood dog. Blood for the blood dog. Can we get some blood for the blood dogs in chat? If we could get some if we could get, just, you know, get some cult incantations going on. He's like, the bed is good, except it sucks, and I need to fix everything about it, and now it's perfect. Now that I've destroyed everything that was on this bed, it's perfect. Excellent. He's now ready. He's now ready to slay empires, to topple hierarchies, and to destroy the menace. I don't know what the menace is yet, but he'll find it. He'll destroy it. He's so cozy. He's a very, very cozy boy. Wherever he is, he's cozy. That's just like all he ever does. Oh, he's a snooze boy. It's a snooze boy. Being good. Time to sacrifice squirrels for the good of the stream. He used to have such a strong prey drive. Like, if he saw a squirrel, he'd be bolting after it. And he's largely lost that. He's an opportunist now. If there's a squirrel very slowly moving in front of him, he'll be like, interesting. Huh. But, like, if he just sees a squirrel running by, he's like, whatever. I couldn't be bothered. I don't care. I think it's largely because he's been humbled by the squirrels around here, who are very aggressive. And do not let them catch him. How are we doing? Let me see what chat is up to. I did want to say a thing. I wanted to say a thing and I already fucking forgot what it was. Well, if it's important, it'll come back to me. Hopefully. It was like a statement or announcement of some kind, and I don't recall. How old is he now? Apparently around 3. Dog prey drives chill out. That might have been it, because it's been a while. Like, when I got him, he was still more puppy-ish. Here's the very unfortunate reality. I've never seen this animal as a puppy. I mean, obviously he's a puppy right now, right? Obviously he's just a little baby puppy, a little puppy. He's just a little guy, a little puppy, right? I've never seen him as a puppy because I got him when he was like either 1 or 2, and that was 2018. So he's now somewhere between like 7 and 9 or something. So he's not like old. He's always had a white face, but he's definitely like getting older, but he's just like an adult dog at this point, basically. My little buddy chased squirrels all the way to the end at 14. See, that's the dream though. That's There's something beautiful about that. Like Flynn is definitely dog, right? You have to have some quality that makes you dog. And what Flynn has is goob, right? Like he's just going to be a goober. What you didn't see is before this stream, when I was just getting kind of things set up, I was sitting at a desk that I've got just off screen over here. A very fucking old desk that's about to fall apart, mind you. But I'm sitting at that desk writing something down, and he comes over to me and just sits on my foot and flails his head backwards into my lap. Like, no, you are paying attention to me right now. And I'm like, my dog, my literal dog, I'm trying to get ready for this stream. And he's like, I don't care. And then you saw what he did. He started the stream early. He's sabotaging the stream. His name was also Flynn, but we called him Flim Flam. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, my dog growing up, her name was Coco. She was wonderful. My brother wrote this like really amazing thing when she passed about how like as she aged, when she could no longer do all the running that she always wanted to do, she would still do it in her dreams, and you could watch her still having those dreams, still being a dog all the way through. And that just makes me so happy. Just dogs just being dog make me happy. I love how animal names slowly devolve. Our dog's name is Janeway, but we call her Butt Girl. That's really good. Butt Girl, get over here. I mean, he's Flynn, Mr. Flynn, Flynnigan, Professor Cornelius Wagtail. Sometimes he's I think it was like Rowan Fourcross, a merchant of fine leather goods. He has a lot of jobs. I had a dog named after Amy Lee, and my mom just called her Stinky. Hello, Brawny. Says best boy in the whole world. He really is. Let's go test that theorem real quick. Let's test 1 second. For a drink. Confirmed. Is he salaried for his is he salaried for such hard work? Yes, he gets treats every time that we stream. So I would call that a fair exchange. Great. I think that's about as close to a salary as you can get. I can hydrate. My childhood dog lived for 18 years. Yo. Goddamn. Mine was, I want to say 15, I think. Paid in Treatos and cuddles. Absolutely. This just in, Flynn is best boy. Hold on, let me get the right camera up for that. There you go. Licking the leg, that delicious leg. But yeah, no, I give him a treat every time that we go streaming. I give him some belly rubs, I give him some lovin's, and he gets to lay on this bed that literally was purchased for the express purpose of giving him a place to snooze on stream. So there's that. My parents still have my childhood ball python. It's 30 now. Is it big? Do those things get big after a while, or are they always just little guys? Because they're like adorable. Ball python. They're just like little guys. Look at that. You can't look at that because there's a dog in the way. Look at that. It's very good. I remembered what I was gonna say, which is I remember now. That thing that escaped me from earlier, where I was gonna say a thing, but I forgot. I remembered now. What I've realized is there's essentially just hours and hours now of recorded footage of Flynn snoozing in that bed. So what I do when I'm streaming, my webcam and that camera right there are both recording to their own video files. So they're like recording a relatively high quality copy for use in edits later on. So that camera has been recording this whole time and has been recording to a file on my computer. And that means that I've got primarily videos that are just hours of Flynn snoozing over time that I can turn into either time lapses or little cozy companion video. Consider the following. Just a 3-hour long Flynn snoozing video with like, I don't know, some like lo-fi or something. like those like the digital fireplace videos, but it's just a cozy dog napping, and you can nap alongside the cozy dog. So I realized that'd be a really good idea. I need to do that at some point. Maybe that could be a good like Patreon reward or something. When they got him, the lifespan was 10 to 12 years. Turns out people sucked at keeping snakes alive. Oh, Jesus. So wait, so they were like, oh yeah, the lifespan of this pet is 10 to 12 years. Oh, psych, actually they can live 3 times that length. Y'all are just bad. Wow. Flynn's sleep study video. I would never be able to, so I have like terrible, I have terrible insomnia, and also because of that, this might be a little bit of a shorter stream today, but I have terrible insomnia, and it always comes up like I should probably do a sleep study. There's no way. There's no way I could do a sleep study. I can't get to sleep under the best of conditions. You're gonna put probes on my body and tell me to sleep. You're gonna put the pressure on me. You're gonna say, hey, you gotta wait like however many months. There's like months long waits to do sleep studies. You're gonna tell me I have to like be in a queue waiting to get to the front of the line so I can do the sleep study. And if I can't get to sleep, then I've wasted all that time. No, that's not gonna work. I guess I'll just die. Like, I guess I'll just never sleep. Don't forget the cameras watching you sleep. Yeah, no, that's the problem, is I won't forget the cameras watching me sleep. It's not gonna happen. This is why I can't do a sleep stream. Like I can't. If I did a subathon or something and like had to sleep on stream, it wouldn't work, because you all would just be watching me tossing and turning for 5 straight hours trying to fall asleep. It's rough. They have take-home sleep studies that literally work like a rubber band around your chest and nasal cannula to make sure that you're breathing there. There's not that much barrier to entry. You just ask. I've always been told that I have to like go in and like do a sleep study in a facility or whatever. But also like it just at this point, so be it, you know? They put cameras on you? Jesus, that's creepy. I don't actually know. I assume so. Like, they're measuring just how your body's physiology is going while you're sleeping. And the problem for me is the sleeping thing. Sleep studies are more for like sleep apnea. Like the problem is I can't get to sleep. not like, you know, sleep doesn't work for me. Pretty sure the home sleep studies are for sleep apnea as opposed to insomnia. I'm pretty sure that's just the case for all sleep studies. Hello, OKHAF. What's up? Sometimes someone is in the room watching you sleep too. So I wanted to have never read that. I think I would have preferred to have never read that sequence of words in any context, because there's no situation in which somebody is in a room watching me sleep is okay. It's bad. I don't want that, even just abstractly. So, that paralysis demon content? Hell yeah. Stoutsweiler says, I stayed up for 24 hours before my sleep study, so I managed to drop off. Then once I was asleep, I also was, and also breathing, I went through the whole night for the first time in like 20 years. That's the annoying part. Here's the situation. If you have insomnia, if you have sleeping problems, honestly, within reason, a very effective strategy is just don't sleep until you fall asleep. Like, a very effective strategy is starve yourself of sleep until you finally fall asleep. Now, if it's been multiple days and you're not able to sleep, go to the hospital. Go to the hospital. But as far as like getting yourself on a sleep schedule, depriving yourself of sleep strategically is a like recommended therapy for insomnia. It's CBTI, I think, is the methodology, and it's essentially just like you have a maximum duration that you're allowed to sleep, and you have a very rigorous bedtime and wake time, and it doesn't matter if you're sleeping between those hours. You are in bed at that time and you are out of bed at the wake time. And if it's, you know, you get in bed and you don't sleep and it's the wake time, too bad, get up. That's the point, is like forcing your body into getting that sleep, which means dealing with being a zombie who hasn't slept very well for an entire day. And I can't do that. Not anymore. I'm so tired. Isn't that called a job? Yes. The problem is you lose your job because you can't focus because you're not sleeping. Oops. That's not what happened to me, but I'm very glad I don't have a job right now, because there's no way I could do a normal job that's like, hey, we need you to be like on and focused during these specific hours. No, that's just not how I work. I did a sleep study and they told me that I have sleep apnea because I'm too fat at 6'2", 195 pounds. That's insane. What? 6'2", 195 is like really, really fit. What? Wait, what? Hold on. BMI is bullshit. I want to be very clear. BMI is bullshit. But just to put that in perspective, I'm going to look up the BMI of that. BMI calculator. You cannot calculate BMI using just height and weight. And also, even doing the normal methods of calculating BMI produces a number that doesn't fucking matter. So, but that's, you said 6'2", 195. So the like, come on. That is 25 BMI, which is, it's 25.0 BMI, which is the absolute lower bound of overweight, according to the NIH website. Who would like to tell me about the government shutdown, actually. Let's see what they've got to say. Let's see what they've got to say. Because of a lapse in government funding, the information on this website may not be up to date. Okay, so your height and weight may not be up to date based on the government shutdown. Just an FYI. But yeah, no, that's actually really fucking stupid. And BMI is bullshit to begin with. And these ranges are insane. And also, 195 at 6'2" is extremely fit. So that's whack. It's really obnoxious. The reason that happens so much is like insurance stuff. Like if they are basically told by insurance companies to more or less blame everything on obesity until they can't do that. It's like an easy out for them, basically. I was fit enough to not need to tape for the Navy PFA at the time. What's the tape for the Navy PFA? Like you're trying to like take a VHS to record the Navy Professional Football Association? That's what you're probably talking about. That's almost definitely what you're talking about. Give us the dog screen back. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that he was gone momentarily. Lupus says, good time zones. Hello, hello, hello. You got it, Dev, on the mark. I know everything. I see all and I know all. Hello, it's me, Horde Prime. What's up? How we doing? So I've been watching a lot of One Piece. Speaking of Brawny, I started watching One Piece, the anime. I've seen the Netflix show all the way through, and it's really, really, really good. I've read probably about half of the East Blue Saga compendium, and I'm now just like giving in and watching the anime. I'm at like Arlong Park. They're currently fighting Arlong. It is as slow as you've heard. It is so slow, and like Like, it's great. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It is excellent. It's so much fun. Holy fucking shit. It's like they're fighting like a big bad guy, right? Like, without having to look up anything about the show. Main characters of the show are currently fighting a big bad guy. Big bad guy managed to send the main character plummeting to the depths of the ocean, trapped in essentially concrete shoes. Like, he essentially was stuck at the bottom of the ocean with his feet stuck in concrete, and the main character, if he's in water, can't swim because of a magical thing. So he's drowning actively for like 3 episodes, like 3 full 20-minute episodes. The guy's underwater while everyone else in the scene is talking about how they need to quickly go save him because he's stuck underwater and they can't waste time and they have to move quickly to go get him. For 3 episodes of him being underwater, losing his breath, being like, I can't last much longer. Oh, I'm gonna drown down here if nothing changes. But it's like, while they're talking about how quickly they need to go save the guy, they're like giving speeches to each other and talking about, they always have to do the thing where they're like, well, I'm about to do another attack, and this attack is 10 times as powerful as my previous attack, which was 5 times as powerful as the attack I did originally. And then I'm going to do my super ultra ability, and you're not going to be ready for that, but I can only do that after doing this next attack, which you're about to see me do because I'm going to do the attack against you. And then like the other person's like, well, bring it on, because your attack that you just did wasn't all that bad. And then I'm going to have an attack as well. And then there's always an onlooking party. Like, there's always an audience. And the audience has to be like, oh my God, I think he's going to do an attack. I can't believe he has another attack that's going to be stronger than the previous attack that he did, because the previous attack was very strong already. And it's like that for 3 episodes. That's how you get 1,000 chapters. Anime power creep at its finest. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I saw an invocation. Yeah, still not Dragon Ball Z territory. That's what made it click for me. So like, I watched a ton of Dragon Ball Z growing up, right? Like, who fucking didn't? It was just like on TV when I got off of school, and so I watched it. When I realized that, yeah, the shonen series formula. When I realized that it's a formula, it's like an archetype of a show, genre is what most people would call it. That clicked for me. When I realized that it's Ocean Dragon Ball Z, right? It's Ocean Magic Dragon Ball Z. And so like, there's always going to be new big bad guy who has new level of incredible power that needs to be demonstrated, and then is thwarted, but then is unthwarted, and then is thwarted ultimately. Once I realized that, I was like, okay, I can now understand. I now know what to expect going into this show. So I'm not really upset about the pacing. Like, the pacing's almost funny at this point. I'm sure I'll get sick of it eventually, but yeah, right now it is slow. YouTube and TikTok gives health coverage to content creators, right? Whoa. Are you asking if I get healthcare coverage from YouTube and TikTok? Holy God, no. I get fuck all. What? No. Oh, no. They do everything they can to pay me as little as possible and do nothing but screw me over at every turn. I have to fight against their encroaching AI tooling that they're trying to push on everybody and deal with whatever arbitrary rules they put on content being demonetized and delisted. No. No. I am very much getting by with whatever I'm scraping together right now. So it is not a lucrative choice that I have made to get into content creation. I got my biggest TikTok payout in like 2 years recently. When the TikTok, like when I first joined their creator program, I was getting decent money, Like nothing that would change the financial echelon that I was in. I wasn't raking in hundreds of thousands of dollars or anything. I was raking in like a few $100s and then like a few grand a month maybe. And then that tapered off after a few months. And now it's like a few $100, which is, I mean, I'll take a few $100s. That's fine. But that's not career money, right? Like that's not I'm a giant creator raking in millions and millions of dollars based on whatever money. Yeah, it's surprising, perhaps. I'm not that big of a creator, and like I don't command like a huge army of people who will go like buy merch or something. Like I have a merch store, merchfrom.dev, and people buy merch, and I'm very grateful for that. I like the merch that I sell and everything. But I'm not the kind of person that's gonna have like, hey everyone, new limited time release, everyone run there now and buy it and blah 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 blah. Like I'm not interested in doing that. I don't like telling people that they need to go buy things in the first place. I'm bad at monetization, I think is what I'm saying. But I'm bad at monetization from like a moral standpoint. And also a laziness standpoint. Let's see. TikTok keeps being like, check out this cool new tool that lets us pay you less. Yeah, it's the worst. And TikTok is so bad about it too. They want to do, they have this thing essentially where a brand can come to TikTok and say, here's $50,000. And then TikTok says, okay, we're gonna send a notification to creators saying that there's a $50,000 pool of money available if they produce and submit ads of their own volition that the company may then choose to run and then might pay out because of it. So it's a hey everyone, here's a raffle, but your entry into the raffle is producing a commercial. And the companies are not obligated to pay you unless they run the commercial that you make. It's so fucking gross. And so that's why if you're scrolling on TikTok, you get so many of those like extremely samey like commercial videos from like no-name creator accounts that are all doing the Mr. Beast voice, that are all doing the same motions. It's always like big pointy motions, and they're like, you are not gonna believe what kind of deal I just found on this thing. And it's like, oh my god, I am going to believe it because you just made it up. It's like worse than an unpaid internship. Yeah. Hey man, love what you do. Thank you so much. Your command of obviousness / common sense is excellent. Thank you for throwing the Overton window leftwards. Yeah, I'm glad that you feel that way. I'm a little confused sometimes if I'm even saying anything that makes sense. Like I know what I'm saying, but then I'm like, I feel like this is so fucking obvious. Like, I feel like I'm just coming to obvious conclusions half the time. And I'm surprised that I even need to say this stuff. It's so dumb. That reminds me. I'm going to talk about this in the next episode of Stuff Keeps Happening, but I do want to talk about this on stream today. Fucking... last stream, I talked about the article that came out from Politico going up. Yeah, I talked about this article. So Politico posted an article in which a bunch of text messages from Telegram chat rooms among young Republicans, quote unquote, were leaked and have the exact content that you would expect them to have, right? I'm not going to repeat all of it again because it's not good. It's really, really bad. Rape jokes, racism, anti-Semitism, all the greatest hits. So I talked about this on my stream on Wednesday, and I said, without having like looked too deeply into it, I said at the time, like, I'm really not surprised. One, because obviously, right? Like, obviously they're racists and anti-Semitic and Nazis. Like, there's a reason that they're called those things to begin with. That's not news. But what I said was the content of those messages is exactly the way that I recall my like teenage guy friends talking, myself included. I will take a sip. So I said, you know, that's basically how young boys talk, because they're all trying to be edgelords. They're all fucking pizza cutters, all edge, no point. And then I found out that they're not young Republicans. They're not teenagers, as I had presumed. I said in my stream that maybe when I was like 15 or 16, like we rape jokes were what we made, because that's we were trying to be the edgiest we could be. And then by the time I was like 20 something, I was done with that. I didn't realize these people are in their 20s and 30s. It's not a young, like teenage, high school age Republican group chat. It's 20s and 30-year-olds, professionals in the political space, like with jobs, working in politics, not kids. These are not children. So when they say young Republicans, it's burying the lead. They are adults. They are full-grown adults. If they killed someone, they would be tried as an adult because they're 30-something. I think one of them was like 36. So JD Vance gets on TV and he's asked about this. And of course he can't condemn it. And he says basically the same thing that I said, which is, this is just how kids are, right? What's emblematic of how tragic the right is in general is when I made that statement, I said, that's just how kids are, kids meaning specifically kids, not adults. That's just how kids are, ... continuing the point into saying that's unacceptable and emblematic of deeper problems in our society. Saying that's just how kids are. Kids are just inherently racist bigots that say they love Hitler and want to gas their enemies. If that's just what kids do in your society is broken. That is the point that I was making. And then JD Vance goes on TV. I'm not saying that he copied me, but he did the exact same thing, but wanted to end it at, why are we upset about this? That's just how kids are, right? It's like saying, oh, the murderer murdered someone. Well, you know, that's just how murderers are. I really think we should move on. Like, hey, why are they murderers? Maybe we should address that a little bit. So yeah, they essentially, there's a group chat filled with racists. We knew this, and Vance is trying to make the argument that this is normal and fine and not out of the ordinary, which is either him saying this is acceptable, him saying that it's acceptable that kids are like this and that's just a fact of reality, or the point that the thing that's most likely, he knows what he's saying is bullshit and he doesn't care because it's JD fucking Vance. And it never matters to actually analyze or think that these people are being straightforward, because of course they're not. They don't care. I think the only person in the entire Trump administration that believes what they're saying is Donald Trump. And that's because he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about reality, and his brain is mustard at this point. That's not true. Mustard fucking rules. His brain is rotten sauerkraut at this point. And so, like, anything that anyone says to him, he just regurgitates. And he doesn't know what it means, but he regurgitates it anyway, because he wants to be the one that people think said it first and no one's going to push back on that. Like, you could walk up to the man and say, hey, the sky is green, and he'll turn around, and the next person he sees is going to be like, hey, did you know the sky is green? I'm the first person to have ever said this. So JD Vance is the loser. I think that's the point I was getting at. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the point I was getting at. Yeah, they're all lying through their teeth, and none of them are being genuine. Like, they all have me like looking at them with an air of, you know, you're being heartless. Like, you know you're lying through your teeth, and you know you're getting away with it, and that's the worst part. Like, you know that you don't care to convince someone like me or the folks who are watching the stream or whatever. They don't care to convince you of anything. You're not important to them. They don't need your vote. What they need is their core base, who they are, the fucking dumb ones that will just do whatever, the cult members. And then they need enough clips to keep them happy, but not too much rhetoric that it seeps out and upsets the centrist or apathetic vote. The second that they say something that is directly fucking Nazi, they have to pull back. And again, I've talked about this a bunch of times on stream. Like, reactionary people, which is like conservatism is a reactionary political ideology. They're not good at abstract thinking, and they need very, very direct, literal discussion. And they can't read between the lines. They can't infer things, and they won't do it. It's not a thing that they're interested in doing. They don't want to expand to start doing that, because it's more effort, and also it's scary. They've spent their entire life being told to just accept what they've been told, and that's comfortable. So when you have a bunch of people watching what the politicians are saying, and the politicians say things like, that's just how it is, the people would be like, well, you know, okay, yeah, he's not wrong. That's just kids being kids, just guys being guys, right? But when that gets beyond that into like Stephen Miller talking about like very, very blatantly giving a Nazi rhetoric speech at Charlie Kirk's funeral thingy, where he's talking about how like white people built the world and are the reason that minorities have anything to begin with. Like, he went on a really white supremacist tirade, and that went too far for people, right? Like, with the people who saw that were like, I don't understand what's going on here. And what's happening there is they don't want to accept that their apathy is aligned with Nazis, and that's why they're like, oh, well, the left just calls everybody they don't like Nazis, because they're trying to convince themselves that they're not. But the Nazis know that they're Nazis, and they're okay with it, and they embrace it. That's why they're constantly dog whistling. That's why they're constantly leaning into it. What if you were the influencer caught at the Kirk funeral? Oh my God. Yeah, there was some, I don't know who this person was. She's some TikToker that got caught at Charlie Kirk's memorial service thing, like in fucking 4K at the front row of the event. Hannah Brown, sure. So she makes a video trying to explain why she was there or whatever, but it's like this dismissive piece of fucking shit video where she's like, I wasn't at a Nazi rally. I wasn't at a MAGA rally. I was at a memorial service for a man that was killed. And it's like, no, you don't get to do that, because at that rally, Stephen Miller talked about how the white race brings salvation. It's pretty whack. It's like, maybe, hey, maybe don't drive multiple hours to a memorial service for a racist at a stadium with pyrotechnics. maybe don't do that. Only choice to lean into the MAGA shit now. Unfortunately, it's like really easy. Like when you do ultimately choose to go into the right-wing grifting territory, is very easy. If she wants to, she could easily just reach over that and start getting that money. Not only that, she drove hours to get there when there was a school shooting / memorial within a few minutes of where she lives. Yeah, like it's she fucked up. You don't get to, we're so far and beyond the benefit of the doubt with everyone who currently still, if you vocally or like with your money and physicality support MAGA, you go to a Trump event, you donate to their campaign, you advocate for their policies, the benefit of the doubt is gone. You don't get to be like, oh, well, you know, I really just don't, I disagree with him on some stuff, but, you know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I just did, you know, the lesser of two evils. Like, no, you don't get to do that anymore. You're just done. So, like, I said the same thing last stream. Like, fucking buck up, eat crow, or shut the fuck up. You don't get to go endorse abject hate and then turn around and be like, well, why are people being mean to me? If you want to be on the side that's like, hey, I should be allowed to be as mean as I want to anyone, and if anyone ever stops me, that's infringing my rights. If you want to be on that side, by all means, you have a right to do that. But you're gonna get punched in the teeth. It's really easy to not get punched in the teeth. I'm not one to victim blame, but your teeth were right there when you were saying all that Nazi rhetoric. That's a you problem. Shouldn't have had those teeth. This is why I'm loud about what I stand for. I'm messy as fuck, but you will never have to guess where I stand on things you just asked. Yeah, I mean, it's important to be loud. It's also important to be loud because a lot of people don't realize that there are more people who think the way that they think, which is like part of why I'm belligerently using my cis white man privilege to loudly say what would otherwise be abrasive for some people, I guess. But like, I want to be very loud about how fucking normal this way of thinking is. Like, it's very normal to look at what's going on in Chicago and be like, that seems like a government overreach. Like, it's very fucking normal to look at what's going on with all of the anti-trans legislation and then look at the trans population percentages and then be like, hey, this seems like an outsized reaction. Never mind that there shouldn't be any trans legislation whatsoever because they're just people. But it seems like a little much. How are we not past this? Like, how are we still on this? How has it been this many years of them going after all the trans ideology and it's still getting worse? Slaps Dev's head. You can fit so much anarchism in this bad boy. We would like legislation. Give us all the money. Oh, we would like legislation to give us all the money. I agree. Legitimately. I feel like trans people deserve fucking what's the term? What's the term where you get paid for, it's the thing that black people also deserve, reparations. Thank you. Yeah. Can we, black folks, indigenous folks, trans folks, queer folks, can we just reparate? Can we just, like, we can skip a year of the US military budget, right? They're fine. They're fine. They can have a little less avocado toast and they can stretch their budget a little bit. And we can just take the money that would have otherwise gone to bombs and just divvy it up evenly among everyone. Easy. Problem solved. Trans people deserve shrimp pasta. Luckily for them, I have some shrimp pasta to give, says Nitro Nick. See, this is why Nitro Nick is a trailblazing advocate for the trans community. Because rarely will you find someone readily handing out shrimp pasta for those in need. Okay? So thank you, Nitro Nick. Thanks for standing up for us. I can't imagine living a life in which you wouldn't stand up for trans folks. I don't understand it. I truly don't. Like, it's probably just the neurodivergence of it all. Like, it's probably the ADHD of it all or whatever. Like, I have a very, like, problem-solving, analytical type mind. And so, like, when I try to think about the full situation, like the place that we found ourselves in society that has led to the point of people's gender and sexual expressions having this much weight in the public conversation. I guess I see climate change, and I see genocide, and I see income inequality and hunger rates and healthcare not happening. And I'm like, why do we give the remotest shit what someone's wearing, how they refer to themselves, who they love, what they do with their free time, what bathroom they use? It's just all so childish and unnecessary. And I'm so fucking tired. I'm tired because it's been decades of this. It's been multiple decades of like watching as weird losers use gay and queer people as reasons to be their weird loser self. They're like, I'm a weird loser. I see a gay person over there. And because I'm a weird loser, that upsets me. I am now going to make this your problem, everyone. Like, it doesn't just hurt the queer community, it hurts fucking everyone. We got that thing recently with the cis girl who went to a bathroom and had to prove that she was a cis girl to a waiter in the restaurant who didn't believe her. That's not making anything safer. That's not making the world a safer place for anyone. You're empowering creeps to be like, I demand to see your tatas. Show me your vulva. Right? Like, let me find this. Restaurant, teen, trans, bathroom, suspect. Yeah. Minnesota teen says server forced her to prove her gender in a restaurant bathroom. The 18-year-old high school student said she unzipped her hoodie to show that she had breasts after a Buffalo Wild Wings server didn't believe she was a woman. Went to dinner in April with a friend in Owatonna, about an hour south of Minneapolis. When she went to the restroom, a server followed her inside and banged on the stall door while saying, "This is a woman's restroom. The man needs to get out of here." She's a biracial lesbian who is not transgender and says that she's been in a similar situation before where people have suggested she's in the wrong bathroom. Who fucking care? First of all, if I saw this person, I would step out and double check what the fuck bathroom I was in, because this it does not clock as like man. It does not clock as like threatening figure at all. Like, second, who cares? Like, there are gender neutral bathrooms that have stalls in them. Like, there are gender neutral bathrooms that are just normal bathrooms. That's what stalls are for. Like, at the end of the day, what we should do, and this is also personal preference a little bit, but if we really wanted to solve the issue with trans rights in America, we need to update all of our bathrooms to be the kind of bathrooms that are like an open sort of like common area that has all the sinks and towels and maybe like little snacky snacks and like mints and stuff. That would be good too. But then you have the individual stalls are like single occupant floor to ceiling doors. Got to have the floor to ceiling doors, right? With the slats maybe to ensure there's not too much stanko going on in there. And so then you've just got the individual cells, right? And it doesn't matter, because at that point there's no threshold that you need to cross that validates a gender, right? There's no gender threshold here, no gender portals. You just walk in, do your business, wash your hands, get yourself a little mint, and walk out. Howdy Dev and chat from New York City. Howdy. I hope you're doing well. How's the city? Is it still new? Can't some people sorry, can't. Some people don't wash their hands. No snacks for them. Fair. How about this? It's a ceiling mount. This is brilliant. Somebody invest. It's a ceiling mounted mint dispenser that is activated similar to when you do like wave your hand under the towel thingy to make a towel come out. Hey, so if you've washed your hands, right, it's going to use AI. Okay, it's going to use AI to track your hand washing. Okay, so it's going to use AI to track your hand washing. And when the AI detects that you have accurately and adequately washed your hands, you can go tilt your head back under the mint dispenser on the ceiling, and it just drops one right into your throat. Now it's gonna have to be a lifesaver, the kind that have a hole in the middle, because this is gonna be a massive choking hazard. A small, hard candy being dropped from the ceiling directly into your throat. Some would call that a choking hazard. I would call it innovation. AI I can support. Finally, yeah, like we finally got the AI that we need, which is an AI that can drop minty, refreshing snacks into my gullet. I can hydrate, thank you. Hello, Lilith. Says, I wouldn't trust places to keep the mint chutes clean, TBH. Well, okay, that's why it's embedded in the ceiling, right? It's not hanging from the ceiling anymore. It's embedded in the ceiling, and around it is a UV chamber. You know, like the air purifier thingies that like use UV light to like purify. It does that to the mints as they're dropping down, so that they've been purified. Much like a Brita filter, but for bathroom mints. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna pitch this on Shark Tank. And I'm gonna be a dozenaire. I have not infrequently tweeted on Blue Sky, posted at Blue Skied, skeeted, whatever you want to call it, at Mark Cuban with with ideas like that. Like, get an idea that's really fucking dumb and tweet it at Mark Cuban. I think we should all be doing this. I think we should literally all be doing this. Just like at Mark Cuban, hey, great idea. Will you invest? There should be bidets for your mouth. Instead of using a water pick, it's a bidet for your mouth. So it's like a fixture in the bathroom, and you just kind of like and it just shoots water. There you go. Hey, Mark Cuban, invest. Deb, did you have breakfast? I did. Guess what I had? It's the meme. So guess what I had? Because it is what you think it is. By the way, making a second Blue Sky account is awful and apparently not working. What does that mean? Egg, says Kev. I'm gonna need one more part. There it is. Egg bite. Oh, sorry. Egg bite. Egg bite. Yep. Had egg bites. Had me a pancake bowl. Oh my! I'm gonna say this again because every time, I need everybody who's at this stream right now, everybody on Twitch, everybody on YouTube, everybody on Omcast, lock the fuck in. I've given this recipe before. I'm gonna give it again. You want an easy breakfast? You want an easy life? This comes courtesy of Stina Lane's therapist. Okay, step one, go to store. Get protein pancake mix. You can also just do this with regular pancake mix, but I recommend doing it with protein pancake mix. I use Power Cakes is the brand that I get. It's fine. It doesn't taste like anything, but it just tastes like pancakes. But it's more filling. So what you do, you get the mix. You get the pancake mix, right? You put half a cup of pancake mix in a bowl. Put an egg, some milk of whatever variety you use. I use oat milk, and mix it up. If you would like to, you can add in, I tend to add brown sugar and cinnamon as well. Mix all that up so it's the consistency of pancake batter, but it's just in a bowl. Slap that in the microwave for 2 minutes. You've got a pancake bowl. You've got a protein pancake bowl. It cooks all the way through. You can just put some toppings on it. You can put some, I like to put some like syrup in it, flip it over. I put some like peanut butter on top, and it like gets all melty. So I have like a melty brown sugar cinnamon peanut butter pancake bowl that is like filling and delicious and takes like 3 minutes to make and is very, very easy. So for all my fellow how am I even gonna have the energy to feed myself today people, there's your answer. Pancake bowl. It is consistent in terms of flavor, easy, fast, cheap, and filling. There you go. Slow down, I have to get a pen. Damn it, it's in cups, I'm out. I mean, look, it's like you put 1 unit of pancake mix into the bowl, right? Like you get you put one serving's worth into a bowl. So it's just like instead of using the batter to make individual pancakes, you just make it all as one big pancake in a bowl. At this point, I go crepes because they cook in 90 seconds. The instant gratification helps continue to keep things cooking. The problem with crepes is just the batter is delicate. You got to know how to make the batter, or I guess get the batter. I really want to get into making crepes though. I want one of those like dowel thingies that can like spin them. Y'all want to talk about depression? Let's talk about depression. Hold on. This is exciting. This is also something that's going to be on Stuff Keeps Happening. Let's talk about depression. So this will be in Monday's Stuff Keeps Happening, but for the first time, scientists pinpoint brain cells linked to depression. 2 key brain cell types show genetic disruptions in depression, offering hope for more effective targeted treatments. Scientists have identified 2 types of brain cells, neurons and microglia, that are altered in people with depression. Through genomic mapping of post-mortem brain tissue, they found major differences in gene activity affecting mood and inflammation. The findings reinforce that depression has a clear biological foundation and opens new doors to treatment development. So we have like scientific, which we knew that depression has like a physiological foundation, right? We knew that. This study, like with no doubt, is showing that there is a measurable difference in how your brain functions if you're a person with depression. This doesn't mean we've solved it, but hopefully it means we'll be able to more accurately target depression, because most depression medication is like an accident. Like most depression medication is like, we wanted to make some dick pills and it didn't work, but the people taking it are a little less sad, so maybe this is just a depression medication now. Like that's how most mental health medication kind of comes about, is like, oh well, the side effect makes it so that people don't want to kill themselves anymore. Sorry about your penis though. You know, it happens. Theo Dame just subscribed, thank you so much. Yeah, so hopefully we got some more information on depression soon, and won't be depressing no more. Won't be depresso no mo. Bah, who needs penis? That's a good question. That's a really good question. At the end of the day, who needs penis? Funny though, ED is actually a possible effect of sad boy pills. This is hilarious to me. The frequency at which ED, the like using the abbreviation ED comes up on my stream, and I have to complain that like it could mean so many things, is quite funny. It could be erectile dysfunction, could be eating disorder, could be executive dysfunction. Who knows? It could be Earl Dagdar, my alter ego. Hello, my name is Earl Dagdar, king of the Dagdar Empire. I just doxed myself. Fuck. Now you all know my full name and location. Damn it. I must away. Love you guys. Bye, London Faye. I can't believe I just told you my name. I'm screwed. Elite Dangerous. Anyway, yeah, so taking sad boy pills, so I'll go ahead. I'll be transparent. I'll be a parent to the trans. So I take just not wanting to kill myself pills. It's really, I was reflecting on this just last night or 2 nights ago about how it's like I take a pill so that I don't want to die. Like depression's so fucking stupid. I if I don't take this medicine, my brain gives up. Not like it doesn't stop working. It just says, yeah, actually fuck this. This is the pill that stops my brain from being like, who cares? It's very, very silly. The effect that it has on my penis is not one of dysfunction. It makes finishing the race, so to speak, it turns the sprint into a marathon, is what I'll say. It's not that I can't run. It's not that. The running is just fine, and I'm running. The problem is I'm running myself ragged because that's the fucking the finish line, the black and white checkered stripe line. It's just way out there. So it basically just makes it so that it just takes for fucking ever. It takes a lot of concentration, lots of focus. So you gotta really get your head in the game, so to speak. It's very, very fucking obnoxious. It's really fucking obnoxious. Like, yeah, it's beneficial to a degree, but hey, when it gets to the point that it's like, this is just an inefficient use of time. That's when it's like, hey, I got shit to do. Like I got chores. I gotta go to the grocery store at some point. I wish my pills made me not want to self-immolate, but they can only help my brain. But they can only help my brain not living under a fascist regime. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate how bad everything is. Not gonna sugarcoat that one, but yeah, no, it's kind of bad. We're talking about meds. We were talking about meds. Talking about meds and my penis, and the two of them together. Sort of the relationship they're in. Slow and steady wins the race. Depends on the race. Tell Flynn we love him and he's the best. Hey, Flynn. Chat loves you and you're the best. Oh, he even woke up. That's good. That's good. Oh. Oh. Do you feel safe? Like safe from my government? Like safe as a person doing what I'm doing? Yeah. I mean, no, but no more. Like I assume based on my complexion that I'm not gonna get randomly abducted. I also assume that I'm going to get a knock at my door at some point, but I'm not. I don't know. If I get got, I'm just not a high profile target, I guess. Like I don't like. Congrats, you got me. I guess I'll go not give my dog treats on stream now, you know? I feel the least safe I've ever been since I'm going to protest tomorrow. Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. So for one, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. The vast majority of protests, the vast majority of protests, even now under this administration, are completely, I don't want to say boring, but boring. Like nothing dangerous happens. It is almost exclusively people march and then you go home. Like 97% of the time. 2% of the time, something happens and you can very easily get out of there if you're scared and you feel like you can't deal with that. 1% of the time, you might find yourself stuck in a situation where tear gas is tossed and something. Unless you are choosing to be at the front up against cops who are actively being told to disperse the riot, which is not what they do by default necessarily. They're usually there kind of like keeping the boundaries on the march or whatever, and then they will eventually kick you out. So like, if you are not choosing to go be in the front lines to yell at the cops, which like by all means you can do whatever you want to do, but if you are nervous about your safety going to a protest, you really should not be. It is a community event that everyone's there for a common goal. They want to keep each other safe. Yes, this administration is doing everything that they can to try to paint it as some kind of wild, anarchistic, well-funded, secretive terrorist operation. But let me tell you, no one's fucking buying that. They barely buy that. They're walking around talking about how they apprehended the girlfriend of the leader of Antifa or whatever. They're walking around. They're trying to make a case, like all of this sword rattling about going after Antifa or whatever is them trying to make a case to legally go after Act Blue. Act Blue is a donation platform for Democrats. And there's nothing illegal about it. There are equivalent services for Republicans, but that has become a boogeyman in online right-wing circles. And that is why they're pushing so hard to be like, we're going to figure out where the funding is coming from, because they're trying to shut down funding operations for Democrats. So like they're trying to, that's the pretense that they're setting up. We're not fucking buying that. Like, we're not. There will be a lot of police violence happening this weekend. There will be a lot of videos that get shared of cops beating up on protesters, doing awful shit. That is going to be the tiny minority of everything that happens. Remember the scale that these protests are at. It's like every city, every state, and you're going to see the worst of it because that's what's going to get the most attention, but the vast majority are going to be so fucking boring. In the best way, in the right way. Because you're going to see people that you're not going to normally see all standing together, because the point is to just make a visual showing of you're not alone. No one's expecting these protests to usurp the presidency. The notion, like when I see people who are saying like, oh, this is a useless protest, blah, 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 it's performative and so on and so forth. It is performative. It's supposed to be performative. You don't organize like corporate style national protests to start the vanguard movement of the revolution. You wouldn't have a fucking sign-up sheet and a poster making party for the revolution. That's not what they're going for. And to try to view it as like a waste of time because it's not the revolution is very silly. You need people to see that you're not alone. You need people to see that there is a will to push for the things that we want and need. And that's what's happening here, is a demonstration to show people you can come out, you can join us. Like everything that's going on in the current zeitgeist discussion from all the politics and stuff, that the point of a protest is to show that there is a counter to that there are people pushing back against it, not to unseat the government, but it's like a pep rally, right? You're trying to drum up excitement for the cause to then go do other shit. So like if you see people organizing a protest and you disagree with how they're doing it, I get it. I fully get it. I'm also tired of feeling like nothing has changed despite everybody's best efforts. And also, their efforts are still valuable. They're doing something. The second and third degree effects are still meaningful. To completely erase their work is to further entrench us in the issue of everyone fucking hates leftists, including leftists specifically. One thing that brings us all together is everyone hates Fetterman. That too. Fuck Fetterman. A pep rally. Yeah, it's not, like sign holding protest marches are a statement. They are not they're not political violence. They're a statement. They are they're to make a point. Hear about Trump having the Navy do live fire missile tests? Might even shut down the highway for it. I mean, like that. They're gonna do something dumb. They're always gonna do something dumb. They're gonna try to distract from it all. It is what it is. They are always doing shit like that. I think what's really interesting is the like guy overseeing the department that's been doing the bombs at the civilian ships off the coast of Venezuela. Like the head of that department resigned like yesterday. It was like, fuck this, I'm out. So that's good because we've done that 5 times now. My parents who have been in the US for 9 years are telling me and my sister to go live with them. Why? This is not a country to move to right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, John Bolton was also indicted, which makes me happy. John Bolton indicted. So John Bolton, this motherfucker, this guy sucks. This guy sucks so much. This guy sucks so much. You want to know how much he sucks? So much. So he is just like a wildly war hockey guy. He is to blame for just a lot of the US just being so fucking aggro. He's just a piece of shit. He's just a war hawk conservative piece of shit guy. And he's been like a national security advisor. He's been in the White House for multiple administrations, including Trump's first administration, which he was a national security advisor. He eventually left the Trump administration because he is not dumb. This guy fucking sucks, but he's also very smart. He identified correctly that Trump is an idiot. And he's like, I don't want to be a part of this. So he decided to get out of there. That's not righteous or anything. Like, this guy still fucking sucks. But he's been pretty vocally anti-Trump since then. So he has now become the most recent person to be indicted by the Trump administration, essentially for going against the Trump administration. So John Bolton, who served as a national security advisor to President Donald Trump during his first term and later became a vocal critic of the Republican leader, was charged Thursday with storing top secret records at home and sharing with relatives diary-like notes about his time in government that contained classified information. The 18-count indictment also suggests the classified information was exposed when operatives believed to be linked to the Iranian regime hacked Bolton's email account and gained access to sensitive material that he had shared. So I want to be super clear that I am all for this guy being indicted. I am here for it. The charges are almost definitely bullshit. The Trump administration has been going after a bunch of people they don't like and charging them with like random fucking bullshit like mortgage fraud. Letitia James mortgage fraud. So they've done this to multiple people now. The woman who was going after Trump in New York for his case there, they slapped her with a mortgage fraud investigation. Yeah, a federal prosecutor in Virginia whose month-long mortgage fraud investigation has not, into New York Attorney General Letitia James, has not resulted in criminal charges. They resigned under pressure. So the federal prosecutor was trying to find some charges to go after her. They just were like, she did mortgage fraud. And they couldn't prove it. But they just want it. They're just trying to land charges. So what they're doing is they're throwing ambiguous or amorphous charges at people so that they can go into the process of like discovery and shit, so they can find something that they can actually use, or draw it out long enough that their base doesn't think about it anymore. This, like the headline of Letitia James has been charged with mortgage fraud, wildfire in conservative circles online. They were so happy that the black woman who charged Donald Trump with some crimes that he did was now charged with some crime in retaliation. They don't care that nothing came of it and now it's a nothing, because they've already gotten that dopamine hit of being told that an enemy that they don't like was hurt. And so it doesn't matter anymore. But sometimes they're going to be able to land people, and they're going to keep doing this. They're going to keep going after their political enemies. So like they've gone after the person who wanted to indict Trump, and now they've gone after a guy who was literally in his administration, who was like, hey, I was in his administration and I think he was a fucking idiot. So like we're in it. And if you can't land the charges, you apparently get fired from this Justice Department. What a use of government resources. Seriously, these are what our tax dollars are being used to do. It's so obnoxious. The projection of it all. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's indict John Bolton for all the documents that he had. Anyway, what documents? Prosecuted for documents at home sounds like a cool president or precedent. Yeah, no, it's interesting to see that John Bolton like actually got hit with an indictment. It's the same with James Comey. You know, they hit Comey with an indictment as well. His was like one count of lying to Congress or something. It's all just very weak. Yo, Dev, tuning in from the tub, says Ominous Mecha 500. Yo, tell me. Bubbles? Some kind of bath bomb, perhaps? A scent? Any candles? I need more. I need to know. I'm a big bath boy. I love a good bath. My dream house is whatever, as long as it has a dope bathroom. I want like a spa grade bathroom setup. The rest of the house could be dilapidated, termite infested, filled with cabbages. As long as the bathroom was dope, I'd be so here for it. Zillow stream when? The problem is I always look at those bathrooms, and then I look at the price of the houses, and I'm like, oh, I'm poor. The only time I ever might visit America is PAX, but Australia has PAX too. I would recommend going to Australia PAX rather than immigrate or like trying to go through immigration right now in the States. Maybe wait a few years on that one. Speaking of PAX though, I announced just before I went live actually that I am not going to be going to PAX Unplugged. I originally was planning to go to PAX Unplugged, but I've had to change that due to a change of scheduling and plans. That makes it not particularly doable for me anymore. So I've canceled that. I'm not going this year. So if you were planning on hiding somewhere with like a giant inflatable hammer to hit me on the head with it and yell like bonk, I'm sorry that I've ruined your plans. Moving here from YouTube for viability. You mean visibility? I want to be real. I'll read the rest of this in a second. Real clear, real quick. There is no difference in YouTube versus Twitch in terms of chats that I see. I see YouTube and Twitch chats all in the same place, so I'm not prioritizing one or the other. That's just wanted to make that clear. But it says, I work for a hospital and they want to let AI companies into patient charts without telling them. The press won't speak to me. That's fucked. That's fucked, but I mean, I don't know enough about hospital administration, but I do know that like HIPAA, I do know that I've had experience in having to deal with HIPAA regulation as a person who does tech stuff, I would be very, very surprised if they actually managed to do something like that with actual patient data outside of a isolated HIPAA compliant environment. That stuff is just so thoroughly vetted. It's the reason that basically all medical portals, like all doctors' websites and portals and shit, they're all garbage because the requirements to do HIPAA compliance are just beyond. That reminds me, I should get my South by Southwest Film Festival pass.
Time for a drink.
Oh yeah, South by is a thing. I always forget about that. Last time I was in Austin, they were like prepping for South by, and then it was canceled that year, I think. And I felt really bad because like this one bar was like, yeah, if we don't have South by, then like we're probably not going to be able to stay open for another year. I can hydrate. Ollie says, I work in authorizations for a hospital and they're trying to force us to use AI to start authorizations for imaging like MRIs. So far I have refused and still submit as usual. We also have AI writing doc notes for office visits. A lot of this stuff is just everywhere right now. I'm not saying that makes it okay for it to be involved in medical data, but a lot of this stuff is everywhere. Like a lot, like if you have like a Google workspace thing at your company, that AI shit is just being like pushed so fucking hard. Like I think they're doing like discount packages even if you like do their AI stuff just to get people to use it. And then it's like, you know, your IT department enables automatic transcriptions of all video meetings, and then now you really cannot avoid it in the first place. It's not going to go away, which is annoying. The problem is that it's being sold still as a Swiss Army knife. And I'll tell you why. It's because the developers who are making the AI software, and half of it is just marketing, right? Like half of it is just what Silicon Valley always does. They're hyping up a thing to make a bubble, to get a quick buck, and so on and so forth. But it's also the reason that they think it can solve fucking everything is because the software developers who are building these things are using them to help with software development. AI chatbots, like large language models, are extremely good at programming questions. Like if you have a question, you can give it to the model and it will likely at least get you in the right direction or fix it for you. It's not perfect, and it does require knowing what the hell you're doing. I weep for software developers who are starting with AI being a thing, because you will never learn what the fuck you're actually doing. But it is effective. It has been. Like there have been not exactly large language model assistive tools for programming, but like the previous generation of these tools were very similar insofar as like trying to predict what you're doing, reducing the amount of things that you need to write. If you're using an AI powered assistive coding tool, it is saving you hundreds, if not thousands, of keystrokes. And that's meaningful. And that's why they're always talking about like, oh, so much like, you know, X percentage of code is going to be written by AI by this time, which is dumb and not a goal that they should have, right? A certain amount of AI written code is not a good goal. That's not a metric that we should be optimizing for. We should be optimizing for making something that's good. But because these models have been trained on like billions of lines of open source code, they just have so much more material in the world of programming than anything else. And so then when they're like, well, I don't understand, why can't human resources people just use AI to solve the human resources problems? And it's like, motherfucker, you can't do that. There's not an autocomplete for interpersonal issues. That's not how it works. But because the product is so obvious, like the value proposition is so obvious in tech for very specific use cases. They just don't understand how it can't be useful everywhere else as well. Let me have access to all of your personal data and feed it into my AI. What's the problem here? I used AI to develop a language model that reinforces my biases. I am a genius. Yeah, it's so gross. The amount of glazing that these AIs do. I've like submitted my like code that I've written to an AI and said, like, analyze this. And I've said, like, I'll be like, I don't say that I wrote it. I'll be like, analyze this and like tell me the skill level of the developer who wrote it. And it'll be like, this is immaculate. This code is clearly written by someone with a complete mastery of this subject matter. This is written by an expert, a principal level engineer, far beyond, it literally said far beyond the capacity of a senior engineer. And I'm sitting here like, this is so way too much. Like, this is so much more than, like, I was kind of proud of the code, I guess, but that is so much more than it needed to do. And I asked it to remain like objective. So if that's it being objective while also not knowing that it's talking about me, like if it knew that it was supposed to be, critiquing something that the user did, it's being told to be nice to the user. So like the user is going to go to it and be like, hey, here's my butt. Is it a good butt? And it's like the ugliest fucking butt you've ever seen. And the AI is gonna be like, that's the best butt I've ever seen. That's a really good butt. It's a great butt. Butt AI. And people use this shit as a therapist. That part scares me so much. It scares me so much because a lot of people use it as a therapist, and their arguments for why it should be okay for them to keep using it as a therapist is that they like the advice that it gives them, which is terrifying. That's not what a therapist does. It is not a therapist's job to give you advice that you like. That is not helpful. A machine that like makes things make sense as easily as possible is not helping you with your problems. It is solidifying them and making them worse. A good therapist is going to push you to force yourself to look at yourself in a mirror and answer your own questions about how do I fix this, by way of exploring your past and learning about you specifically and holding more information about you than an AI is able to do so. These AIs, the only way they can know anything about you, in huge air quotes, is if there was something that you said in a previous conversation that they've stored in their little memory bank. But every single time that you make a request to a large language model, it has to load in everything that it might need for the response into the input. So your prompt might just be like, give me a recipe for salad. But the actual input to the model is going to be, give me a recipe for salad. And also they're going to backfill every piece of information that they know about you so that it has all that context, because it doesn't otherwise know who you are. It's only operating while it's computing the output, and it's only outputting based on the totality of its input. There's no memory. There's no personality in there that's evolving and learning about you. It is literally just a matter of zeros and ones changing in the input and then a level of randomness in the output to make it feel unexpected and different. So like never, ever, ever for a second see these things as having emotion or as anything else but a computer outputting text. And while that can be useful, there are useful applications for it. It is not a end-all be-all solution for everything. And it's like very detrimental that it's been pushed as such. It's been pushed as a silver bullet. And so people are just trying to use it everywhere. And it's like, it's just not necessary. It's just making everything worse. I'm so tired of trying to contact support and I get a fucking AI that cannot answer my questions. And Is that why it takes so much energy for computation? It takes a lot of energy for computation because it is a definitionally inefficient system. Large language models are by definition inefficient. That is how they're designed, because they're not designed to solve a problem and efficiently output a solution. They're designed to use an immense amount of computing resources to sort of vibe your way to some output. And so like the inherent design is that it is extremely resource intensive. And we can't really optimize that much more without compromising the quality of the output. The other thing is that there's just so much of this right now. So like all of these AI companies are being subsidized by investors, the government, all sorts of things. And so they're giving really cheap access to all of this. And so companies who are consuming like ChatGPT, companies that are using OpenAI to do things like have their support representatives be AI instead of support representatives, they're making just an insane amount of requests to ChatGPT. Their systems are making like thousands upon thousands of requests every hour. And that is what is driving up energy costs. But I want to put this in perspective. The rhetoric around AI energy and resource usage is so wrong. Like, it's just not accurate. There are massive issues with data centers polluting communities, using too much power, being extremely bad for the environment. Those are all real problems. The water thing is not a thing. Like the water usage thing is a broader conversation. But AI is not the thing that's making that happen. That was already a problem. It's just that like AI is computationally expensive, and so they want to build more data centers, but data centers were already using a lot of local resources. But AI specifically is not a thing that has shifted the landscape there in a way that merits the reaction that I think people are having to it. But I think a lot of people are basically hearing AI is bad for the environment. I don't like AI, therefore me not using it makes me morally superior because I believe that it's bad for the environment, which you're not wrong. It's not good for the environment. It is bad for the environment. And so is everything else that we do on computers, period. So is having a Netflix subscription. You stream stuff that has a negative impact, and that requires the data centers, the same data centers. The AI usage is computationally inefficient, and so it's exacerbating the extant issue. But like, it gives a pass to the billionaires who are still building the data centers, still doing everything else, when you narrow that scope to just AI. Like when you say it's like, AI is the problem, like that is not the case. It is a problem. AI has a lot of problems with it. The problem is a lack of regulation around what these companies can do to the communities that they build these data centers in. If there was regulation that said that these companies, if they want to have a data center in this region, they have environmental standards they must maintain, and they must give back to the community in some way beyond just offering employment to the local people. If it was instead like you have to also invest in the municipality to have to support their energy infrastructure, so that people's lives are not affected by the consumption of energy that is otherwise supposed to be going to these houses. If there was a requirement that was like, if you cause a reduction in water quality based on your environmental impact, then you have to pay for like restitution for everyone. That's the problem. The problem is America, United States of America will not regulate corporations. We don't do that. That is why the US is such an appealing country for corporations to come to, because we are so hesitant to pass any regulation. We have gone back to letting fucking meat packing companies self-audit. Like that's where we are. we won't fucking put policy on people, because the whole like, oh, well, if we regulate the industry, then the industry is going to move. It's why narrowing it down to just saying AI is a problem because water consumption, or AI is a problem because energy consumption. That's the same argument as what it was with crypto, right? Crypto also uses a shitload of energy because it is intentionally by design computationally expensive. It is essentially we're in an era of tech oligarchs basically saying computational capacity is gold and we must amass it, and using computational capacity to produce some kind of output with that computational capacity is the thing we're trying to do right now. That's the problem. Giving them complete fucking free reign over our natural resources and landscapes and the future trajectory of our society is the problem. An AI, a large language model, can run on a laptop using solar power. That's doable, right? Like, that's not long-term the problem. As we get better, as it does get optimized, as computing resources get a little bit better, that'll be a thing. People will be able to run stuff on their local machines rather than having to use the giant cloud systems. Like, it will get better over time also. It's just like, we are going so far in the wrong direction with so many other things. Green energy investments. Like, Elon Musk's fucking data center that powers Grok uses fossil fuels. It uses like coal or some shit. And so it's like that is the level of problem that we're talking about. Blaming just AI and yelling at people who use AI because of a perceived belief of its impact on the environment that's not actually founded in reality doesn't help anything. It just pushes people away. It's another in the long line of people are fucking sick of the left. Literally, I'm tired of the left myself. Like, I'm fucking sick of the leftists. I've been sick of leftists since becoming a leftist. Literally yesterday, I had somebody get upset with me for using the term sociopath to refer to sociopathic billionaires. And they're like, that's an offensive term. And I'm like, no, we're not doing this. We're not fucking doing this. Sociopathy is a documented personality disorder framework. And what I meant was sociopathy, because that is the specific exhibit or exhibition of personality traits that I'm talking about, that capitalism self-selects for, which is problematic. Mentioning a word that is a mental disorder or a personality disorder and likening it to a thing that is undesirable, when the personality disorder is that you are a person that makes things undesirable for other people. I get that we should be compassionate and support people. And also, I'm so tired of people telling me what words to say when obviously I don't mean anything wrong. Like, I'm not the one that's over here dog whistling constantly. I will never forget the time that I was talking about the video game Destiny 2, in which one of the main enemy forces is called the Cabal. And I said the word cabal, and I got someone in my comments being like, you shouldn't use that word because it's a dog whistle. Like, this is we're so far beyond this. I'm so tired of like weaponized criticism from like a moral standpoint over fucking nothing. Like, I'm trying to think about who that person was offended on behalf of when I said that we are at the will of sociopathic billionaires. Who are they offended on behalf of that they need to accost me for it? Being edgy for the sake of being edgy. Well, it's like being like, I hate this term, but I don't have a better one for it. I've referred to this historically as woke checking. Like, you are trying to be as open-minded and progressive and thoughtful as possible, such that the second you see an opening, you jump in and ram it down someone's throat to position yourself as morally superior to them, which is exactly the problem that the left has of like, someone just learned some new point of view and now they want to make that everyone else's problem. And like, yeah, people are talking about how like, oh, we shouldn't have purity tests and blah, 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 blah. I'm not really talking about purity tests. I'm not really talking about like, yeah, we shouldn't have people in our coalition who don't believe in the human rights of the other people in our coalition. At the same time, hey, maybe Latinx was a bad idea. Maybe butchering the grammatic structure of a foreign language to try to show those people that you care about referring to them in a gender neutral way because you can't help yourself but see everything through your myopic lens of what you think societal progression is. I'm all for gender neutral terminology. If you look like me and you're trying to use a non-person who looks like me's language and rework it to be more comfortable for you to say when they didn't ask you to do that at all, that's not a thing. That's not helping anyone. It's like I saw a video recently on TikTok. I forget who posted it, but it was really great. It was I believe I reposted it. It was a woman talking about how like the moment that we were fucking cooked was when people were more worried about if you said homeless or unhoused person or person experiencing homelessness rather than giving a shit about homelessness. Like the people who like you're trying to make a point about how we can solve the homelessness problem and someone's like, it's people experiencing homelessness or the unhoused. Like, fuck you. I'm trying to feed this human being. I want this person who's my countryman to be safe and sheltered. I'm pretty sure that's what they want too. And I'm pretty sure that they're not going to give a shit which of the labels you give them because they're hungry and dying. And our country has forsaken them. Like that's the part that really gets to me with like online leftists is the language policing. I'm happy to change my language. I have frequently changed my language when someone does call out a thing that I said that I didn't realize was bad. Stuff like lowest on the totem pole, right? Like sayings that's like, oh wow, yeah, that's not something I should be saying. Stuff like that. Sure. No problem. Absolutely perfectly fine changing my words. There are a lot of words. I can use a lot of them. I'm not mourning having to change the way I talk about things. I am mourning the increasingly thin arguments people use to try to get at people, and how much wasted time how much time has been spent arguing over like point of order, like the classic like you just referred to this room as guys and there's actually a mixture of genders here. That's offensive. Like okay. Never mind that I have spent my entire life surrounded primarily by female friends who exclusively refer to each other as hey you guys. Like it's just how common language do. I get it. And also I literally was in a scholarship for gender studies and this was never a problem for them. Like it was not what they were talking about. When I went to multiple college level courses on gender studies, this is not what we were talking about. We were talking about like, you know, people being burned at the stake for being a woman. Like the way that like women were literally preyed on in the media industry and still are preyed on, but how much worse it was in the past. Like oh my God, I don't even want to get into it actually. That's just really traumatic. Yeah. I don't know. Where I'm at is I'm so over the virtue signaling, the, you know, performative leftism or whatever. But that doesn't mean that I'm tired of my morals and values. Like what I'm trying to do is show people like you can, like, it's not about those little things. Right now, we're dealing with people being abducted on the street. Whether or not we say people are experiencing homeless, unhoused, or are homeless isn't a thing that we have the time and energy to focus on. What we need to be doing is acknowledging that, like, hey, yeah, we might have a few things that we're going to find uncomfortable about each other, but we all universally value the fact that trans rights are human rights and, like, people deserve comfort, safety, food, a future. And so we should come together and do those things. Like, those can still be your values, and you can have a coalition with someone who says some words you don't like. You know, like, certain words, I understand having a red line, but there's a lot of words, like, for example, someone who says crazy a lot, right? That's one of those words that's like, some people will be like, yo, that's crazy. And someone else will be like, don't say that, that's ableist. And it's like, I can get the through line here, but like, if you're going to cancel someone, if you're going to like refuse to have a coalition with someone because they said, yo, that's crazy, you're so far gone. You're so off the mark. We cannot afford this shit. And we're so past it. And so like, I just don't have any capacity for it anymore. We got bigger fish to fry than language semantics. It feels like a very liberal thing to say what you call, or let me start over entirely. Yeah, we got bigger fish to fry than language semantics. It feels like a very liberal thing to say you need to call someone unhoused while not doing anything to help them. It is extremely, extremely liberal. And it's the same people that will, like, you know, do like the black square activism or whatever. It feels like they're doing something, but they're doing it from the safety of their keyboard. And that makes them feel like they're participating in something. When in reality, it would be better for everyone if you just didn't. We don't need that. We don't need keyboard warriors. We need people out protecting immigrants from being abducted. That's what we need. If you want to be very thoughtful towards people and try to make your statements about, you know, why certain words should be avoided, I would love to read, or I would love to read your essay. I would love to watch your piece about it. But like, bitching at people is not how you change their mind. Bitching at someone because they said a word and telling them that word was bad and they shouldn't say it because you don't like it is a real fast way to get blocked. Put down the keyboard and give direct mutual aid. Yes, go do mutual aid. Thoughts and prayer squad. I don't care what words I use unless it's a slur. Yeah, so that's the thing. Is the person got upset with me because they categorized the word sociopath as a slur. They called it a sanist slur, I believe, which is like, as open-minded as I try to be, guys, you gotta calm down. You can't do that. You cannot fucking do that. Like, you can't just tell me that I can't refer to personality conditions, otherwise they're a slur. Sanist. Yeah, this was new to me too. I wanted to give it a fair shake, right? When I am met with a new concept like this, I try to always approach it with an open mind. I saw the word sanist. I don't understand. I can get, you know, context clues because I know what ableist is, right? So like, I try to give it, I want to at least understand it, right? I don't like having I spent too much of my life instantly rejecting things. I learned something new. I'm like, that's dumb and weird. I hate it. I don't like this, right? And that's how you become a reactionary. That's how you become conservative. Here's something new. I don't like it. Get it out of my face. And so instead, I try really hard whenever I feel that this seems dumb thing, I try to stop myself and think like, okay, let's learn about this before passing judgment. I learned about it. And I think all you really need to know is that when I pulled up the Wikipedia article on it, it has this disclaimer at the top of the article. This article has multiple issues. This article is written like a personal reflection, personal essay, or argumentative essay that states a Wikipedia editor's personal feelings or presents an original argument about a topic. The article's tone or style may not reflect the encyclopedic tone, and it includes a list of general references but lacks sufficient corresponding inline citations. So I did go to look this up, and this article has a giant disclaimer saying, hey, this was just kind of somebody ranting. So, like, what I get from this is, like, yeah, like, it's maybe a thing. It is not a thing that you can use as a cudgel to police other people's language. So the opposite of locking yourself in an echo chamber. I just want to understand things. I just want to know what I'm talking about before I talk about it. And I don't want to go through my life innately just disliking the things that are presented to me. It's why it's again why I don't understand the like trans hatred. Like, oh, here's a person who's living a life that's different from mine. Okay, now I know that people do that. Okay, like I'm not going to immediately start ripping on something, immediately call it dumb, immediately say that it's too far, blah, 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 blah. I want to know what I'm saying. I want to know what I'm talking about, and I want to know what people meant by something. And I definitely want to know if someone had ill intent or not before I go after them. Anyway, I've been talking about this for far too long. This is not a thing that I actually think about much. I just have started talking about this subject and haven't stopped. Yeah. The comment was regarding the rejection of new information. Yeah. I got you. If their life is different, if their life is different, my brain is falling apart. If their different life is working, the rules I've lived by might be wrong, and that's scary, says Siliconsul. Yes, very much so. Absolutely. And that took a long time to get over. It took a long time for me to get past the fear of acknowledging that the number of years I've lost to shitty thinking, like just a shitty way of going about life, having to eat that and move forward was so painful. But I'm so much happier for it, aside from the depression. Aside from having to take pills that make me not want to kill myself, I'm so much happier with who I am, because I'm not just like getting mad when I see something new. Imagine if every time you were presented with something new, you were made mad. And that goes for new information about things that rightfully should make you mad. But get the context before you let it enrage you. If you see a video of something unacceptable, like something really, really shitty, double, triple, quadruple check that it's like new and pertinent to anything. Because I'm seeing so many videos getting just pushed around the internet right now that have a timestamp on them or have like text overlaid on them, making it, implying that they were recent events, and they're not. They're like years old. So like getting upset about things that happened years ago is not helpful for anyone. You could learn about it, and you could be like, wow, yeah, that sucks and shouldn't have happened. But to let it affect your mood and your outlook because it's a thing that happened is not healthy. So like make sure that you're tempering that. Listen to actual minorities talking about them. Yes. Oh God, yeah. Listen. Run, do not walk to black women to get information about things that you can actually understand and trust. Like they know what the fuck they're saying. If you need any information about how to organize and how to live in hostile conditions, talk to black women. But like actually though, and like this part's hard for a lot of people. Listen to them also. So listen and internalize. The listening part is important. Make sure you do that part. I'm going to shut the stream down here. I think saying listen to black women is probably a good sentiment to end on. I am tired, and I'm going to go take a nap and eat some lunch and get to work on Monday's episode of Stuff Keeps Happening. So we'll stop it there. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. This is a fun one. What's for lunch? I think a quesadilla. I'm pretty sure I have leftover chorizo. No, it's gonna be a rice and beef bowl. Hell yeah, yeah. Rice and beef in a bowl. Flynn Cam one more time. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Buddy, oh look at the snooze boy. Who's our I'm sad that you couldn't hear that, but he let out a nice big sigh, a nice big old sigh. Okay, I'm gonna head out. Thank you all for hanging out today. I'll see you on Monday when Stuff Keeps Happening, which should actually happen this time instead of not happening like it did this past week. If you haven't yet been checking out my Minecraft hardcore mode Let's Play, I've got a gaming channel over on YouTube, youtube.com/EndeavorAnceGames. It's linked to from my main channel. It is a series in which I am attempting to beat Minecraft on hardcore mode, despite not really knowing how to do that. So definitely go check that out if that sounds like some fun. It's just more casual, happy, good, fun times. Other than that, I stream every Wednesday and Friday starting at 11 a.m. U.S. Eastern. That's all I got. Take care, y'all. Someone give Matthew Rice Seeker, thank you for the donated sub right before we shut down. Okay. Take care, y'all. I'm gonna go nap. Bye.